Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Falling Skies Fan Podcast, brought to you by TigerPrinceRadio.com. I'm Hank Davis, and joining me on the line, he is my partner in crime. He's Alex Cruz. How the heck are you, Alex?
Oh, fantastic.
Awesome.
And we're a day after they aired the latest episode of Fallen Skies, and so I know we have a lot to say.
Yeah, we've got a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't have any ratings as of yet, and I don't know whether that's because basically 4th of July is kind of like in the middle of the week, so everyone's kind of out on vacation, or I don't know, but hopefully we'll be getting ratings rather soon.
Yeah, and I didn't know if you were going to say that might be a good thing that we don't have ratings. I didn't know if that was going to be your next thought, but but you never know.
I take you didn't like the episode then, huh?
I did. There were smatterings of goodness in there, but there was some things that I've got to call to the carpet today. So I will definitely do that.
Well, speaking of which, as of yet, TNT has not renewed Falling Skies for a third season, and the reason why I bring that up now is because TNT is renewing just about every one of their TV series. In fact, Dallas has been renewed. Rizzoli and Isles has been renewed.
Oh my goodness, you're going to renew that show? and
So,
not Falling Skies? Wow.
And they said the reason is for that is because Warner Brothers, which is, as we know, kind of like the home studio of TNT.
Yeah.
They have to work with Steven Spielberg's DreamWorks company in order to bring it into fruition, and so they normally say that would normally take a little while longer.
Okay.
So because it's outside studio, so, and they said right now chances are pretty good that it will be renewed for a third season.
Good. Oh, please. Alex, will this be the first time ever that we've made it past a season or two seasons?
You know what? I am not saying a word because the Hank Davis curse may come yet to bite us in the butt.
It's the Hank Davis curse, he calls it. Oh, man. It's like being on the cover of John Madden Football.
And so, some other Falling Skies news. It was reported that there will be a Falling Skies panel at Comic-Con and scheduled for Friday, July the 13th. So we're probably, it's going to be next week for sure.
Okay.
So we'll keep everybody posted in about 2 weeks as to what went on for that.
Everybody, cross your fingers, please.
And I kind of have a feeling, though, that if anything's going to be announced, it will probably be at Comic-Con.
Okay. We will definitely stay tuned for that. Alex, anything else before we start our review of Show 4 of Season 2, Youngbloods?
I just noticed that Aaron Andrews has joined Fox Sports. That's news to me.
Totally unrelated, but still relevant. Still very relevant. All right. The guys get me. All right, we start out with Matt on a scooter and skitters closing in. Then, boom! It's time to blow heads off because it's a trap. It was like the old Star Wars. It's a trap.
And now this, in my opinion, was the stupid Mike Memorial Award of the week.
Oh, my goodness.
For him to get himself into that kind of situation, even though it was semi-controlled.
Oh, it was pretty stupid.
It was still pretty stupid. And as we see, old dad is not going to be too kindly to that.
Stay off of my lawn. That's all those skitters were saying. But at the end of the show, Alex, we will both submit our cases, so to speak,
All
and
right.
see who really will go away with the trophy this week. The Stupid Mike Memorial Trophy, also known as the Stupid Ben Award, is handed out each week to the character that does the most idiotic thing in the show. So we'll
And
see. This is
kind
good.
of a side note to that as well. A little tidbit in trivia. Um, they used 5 gallons of fake blood on the actor that plays Matt.
It looked ridiculous. That blood from okay, all right. Here's where my gripe starts. First, do heads blow off like that?
Evidently, skitterheads do.
I mean, they pop like balloons.
Well, the two sharpshooters, they're berserkers, so you know that Pope has had that
That round,
special
round made. Yeah, Tector and Boone. Those were the two berserkers that were out there.
right.
And I'm gonna get into them a little later. I'll get into my problem with each of them. But I'll save that for later.
But Matt Mason, played by Maxim Knight, that was literal joy you saw on his face because he thought that was the actor thought that was the coolest thing going. So,
and I'm like, he's covered in blood from disappearing heads. Awesome. So yeah, we start out with that. So that was a little hokey to me.
right.
And it's 1 week after. Didn't little Jimmy die because they were out, doing some skitter killing?
Mm-hmm.
And this is we're 1 week removed from a funeral, folks. And you guys would do this? That didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it was a lot of foolishness, and I know we're gonna make our cases later on, but to me, this takes it.
Okay. Ben and Hal are out scouting, and their bikes get stolen. I thought you were going to say this was.
And you know what? That's funny that you mentioned that because I almost just bypassed that first one and went right to this one simply because it was Ben. So, but like I said, we'll discuss it at the end of the episode. So, well, Ben in my eyes redeemed himself because after as we know, the bikes were stolen and then they took off, and then Ben used his Kryptonian super hearing.
Oh, okay. So this is another part where it falls down for me. So he can use his super hearing when he's focused and stuff, but if he's just sitting there, he can't hear two people behind him, just yards behind him taking their bikes. Selective hearing, do we call that?
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
That's selective hearing, I think we call that. And speaking of that, let's move into the next scene where it's Tom and Ann, and they're having a little bit of a moment there. So last week, she's all cold because it's Sammy's birthday. She's all chill out, don't touch me, get away.
And then Tom brings her favorite little treat, I guess, as a kid, and that gets the juices flowing, so to speak.
And they're looking around like, hey, you want to make out? Like, get a room, people. go get a room.
Yep. And then they're interrupted.
Yeah, thankfully, Lourdes breaks all that nonsense up. So where are Tom and Ann at now? I mean, are they to a point where they are, not that it's any of my business or anything, but is it safe to say they're at a point where they are intimate and they're a couple, or where are they at?
I say they're at the very beginning stage when everything is all brand new and
those little annoying habits don't bother you?
Exactly.
Because they will in episode 10. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, my goodness. So, okay, I'll try to stop griping for a minute. But back to Ben and Hal. They're trying to find those darn bikes, and they come across a group of renegade kids who stole their bikes. So, okay, I said I was going to stop griping, but I can't. Sorry. Because Hal comes in with his hands up. All those kids pull their guns on Hal, and then Ben is up high with a assault rifle. And so Hal's like, hey, you guys better drop it or else we're going to kill the leader. And 15 guns drop.
And you know what? This was another stupid Mike moment, I guess,
It was.
because how many guns do those kids have? And you know what? They could have half of them could have aimed it on Ben, the other
Yes.
half aimed it on Hal.
No, that would have made too much sense, though.
I guess.
So I was just like,
And so
you
this was
kid.
kind of like a game of chicken, and poor Go Diego Go, he he lost his cojones and dropped his weapon.
He sure did. And I was thinking to myself right then, hey, there's a lot of them in that room. Maybe these are the replacements for the second mass, the people that they've lost.
Yeah, that's what
I was
I kind of
thinking.
thought too.
Right then and there, that's what I thought.
But they said, we don't trust any grown-ups. That's what they reveal. And so this reminded me of an old original Star Trek episode where they
Oh,
arrive
yeah.
at a planet and everybody over 30 is dead, so it's all run by kids.
Ugh. Yikes. Uh, all right. Now it's terrible rap time with Boone, but Tom breaks it up and then finds out his kid was skitter bait. Oh my goodness.
Now I thought this was terrible because we have a Eminem wannabe
Yeah,
trying to rap,
a
and
gangster.
yeah, don't quit your day job. You should have been kept your job as a cell phone techie.
Geek Squad, anyone? So Tom is really upset, and Matt gets mad that he has to sit out, sit out because of that nonsense. Tom's gonna keep a closer eye on him. It looks.
I thought this was a really cool scene though because uh, we're kind of seeing like an actual military in action because every military they have to do some disciplinary stuff because there's always people that goof up, and sure enough, Tom they do like KP type work and laundry and whatnot, doing the cleaning and off the sniper duty, and Matt is off the next two missions. And of course, Matt says, "You ruined everything, Dad."
As kids will say. So too bad. But Tector, that's his. They call him Tech on the show.
Tector.
But that's his name on the cast.
Sounds like a
Tector.
character from the Masters of the Universe with He-Man.
Yeah,
Tector.
Tector and Boone. Send them to bad rap concerts. So now Weaver catches the tail end of that conversation, and he's kind of leaving it alone, but butting in all at the same time, I guess you might want to say. And then
that kind of surprised me because I'd figure Weaver would want to know everything that's going on because he is the control freak that he is.
Yeah, he is. And then Hal and Ben show up. And that's when we meet Weaver's daughter, Jean, who, ironically enough, folks, they talked about last week on the Compass episode. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait one episode to bring her on. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Well, I think one thing we didn't say was that after we had after Ben and Hal took the bikes back, also too they brought back a small contingent of those kids back with them just to show them that, hey, once you got almost like, hey, you guys haven't been fed in a while. Once you come with us, we'll make sure you guys get fed, and then that's when I thought, cool, these guys will be part of the second mass. And then when it was revealed that only some of them would be coming, I thought, oh, we're gonna harness the rest when they go back.
Oh, okay. You were already seeing it. I did not foreshadow that.
And what wasn't that kind of going back again? Wasn't that kind of curious too? We're at that factory, and lo and behold, they got power.
Oh, they did have power.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that. Wouldn't that just be a beacon for the aliens?
Right.
Oh.
Now that factory that was used though, it originally did not have any power.
Okay.
And I'll get more into it when we
get
to that part.
Okay. So obviously they went to a commercial break at this time. When we come back, Weaver's saying, "How did she die?" So at that point, I'm assuming he's talking about his ex, and yes, it is his ex they're talking about. the thing I took out of this was Gene misses Papa Bear. Really? Papa Bear? No, come on. That's not what I want to know Weaver has.
Now, if I remember right, Weaver has 2 daughters, and this is the oldest one.
I am not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's the oldest one. And then the youngest daughter, if everybody's memories
Isn't she dead?
Yeah, because what happened was she was harnessed. And so they tried to get the harness off of her. That's how Weaver learned that stuff even before doing all the second mass stuff. Was they tried to take the harness off of her and it killed her.
Okay.
And so I thought for sure that it still hasn't been revealed whether the ex-wife was alive or dead, but they kind of made mention of it last night that she was dead.
Yeah, she's dead. She died of a stroke or something?
I guess I didn't catch that part. I watched the episode twice.
I watched it twice, and I think she said a stroke or something along those lines. A soccer game has broken out, or skitterball, depending on your part of the world. I love the little skitter face they had on it.
I wonder if that was the same one that was used in that one movie with oh geez, now my mind's a blank. I better just learn to shut up. What was that Tom Hanks movie where he was on the island?
Oh goodness, Castaway.
That's the ball he talked to.
Nice. He's got friends.
Yeah.
So Hal, Tom, and Diego sit around and talk shop, and then Margaret smacks Hal in the back of the head with the soccer ball. And he's just grinning ear to ear, and Diego's watching him, and he's like, "Oh, is that your girlfriend?" No, we're just friends. And he's like, "Yeah, right." Sure. Yep, me and Weaver's daughter are just friends, quote, air quotes. So I was like, oh, my goodness. It's that obvious. Yes, it is. But that was a nice little departure scene, I thought.
Yeah, it was a little playful.
Yeah, they're moving that love story along, I guess. Whatever you want to call it. Puppy love. Matt and Tom talk about his bait mission. And Matt compares what he did to Tom getting on that alien ship. It's not schmat what you did. And he's like, hey, it wasn't schmat that you got on that alien ship either. I was like, nice. Oh, good. Yeah, he's like a little dude, but he's got a lot of attitude, man.
No doubt.
I like him. So Weaver apparently doesn't like Diego talking to his daughter, and I'm going to put this out there right now. Alex, did you sense any subtle racism at all?
Well, you know what?
Let's just be honest. Let's be real here.
Weaver kind of reminds me of people that I've known in my life, and they tend to be in the racist kind of category. It's just the way they were raised, and yeah, I kind of got that.
What, you're speaking Spanish now? I was like, oh boy, here we go. Oh, here we go. So I think when it comes to his own daughter, that he would be very critical of anybody of any color or race.
Yeah, because he's Weaver. He's the control freak.
Yes, he is. He's pushes a little too hard, but I just wanted to get your opinion on that because I was like, uh-oh, it seems to be spilling over here. Diego talks to Matt and encourages his bad behavior. Hey, weren't you that kid that led those skitters into, to get killed? Oh, that's pretty cool and stuff. I'm like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, that just encourages him.
And so then Gene, Diego, and the group, they get on bikes to go back to deliver their supplies. And didn't Weaver say they should be back in about an hour or something? Which I thought was pretty unrealistic.
Yeah, to me it didn't seem like that place was all that far away.
He was like, they should be back in an hour. I was like, okay, what are they going to do? That's going to take that long. But whatever. Suddenly, and Wayne Henderson from MediaVoiceovers.com, He loves this part because suddenly it's nighttime, and then the group's path is stopped by flaming vehicles, and the other people's their place is been torn up. So, well, it was torn up before, but it's torn up worse than normal now. And we find that one of the survivors says that they took everybody. Well, he should have said
not everybody,
except me. That's what he should have said.
I was too whiny for him.
And then Ben, being the glass half full type of guy that he is, says, "Those kids will be harnessed." I was like, "Hey, try to be a little more subtle there, buddy." But no dice from that. Now, you had already called that one. And then I kind of assumed that it was going to be, I thought something was going to happen to them. You know, the group that was going to deliver the stuff right then.
Right.
I thought that was going to happen to them, like get killed, or some of them get killed or something right then and there. But that didn't happen, so to speak. But anyway, the group grills Ben for harness information. And if you were Ben, would you be tired of hearing, people asking you like the process and all this stuff?
Yeah, but you know what? If you want to be helpful, but I see. Well, Ben's thinking, he goes, I hate talking about this stuff. And as we know, it's keeping a huge mental scar on him.
Yes, and physical scar too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, Weaver wants to plan things out, but Diego just wants to bust in there and get them kids back. And Diego makes a comment about, hey, why should we listen to a man who couldn't save his own family? That was a little much for me.
Ooh, snap.
Yeah, that was too much for me. I was like, come on, man. Why would you go for the jugular right then and there?
Yeah, and you know what? I thought for sure he was going to recruit his cousin, Dora.
They could do some exploring.
Exactly.
Now, Diego wants Matt to join the fight, and Matt goes. What in the heck? What is wrong with Matt? He is just a rebel now.
Well, I don't know. Both he and Ben are like that.
Can we refer to him as the little berserker?
All he needs are some retractable claws, and he's little Wolverine.
Oh man, I'd pay to see that. Ben and Tom have an exchange about Ben not going to the harness facility. You don't have to go, right? Oh, I'll go. Don't worry. My spikes will stop glowing. Tom and Weaver discuss what Gene said about him. And is Tom Weaver's conscious?
You know what? I think he is.
Because he is like, I think that's why Weaver keeps him around sometimes.
Yeah. Well, like, he's Weaver's right-hand guy, and you know what? You don't really realize how much he relies on Tom. And I know I kind of saw that when the season opener, the second season opener, and we saw Tom come back, and you know what? There was no question in Weaver's mind that Tom was back and he's fine, because I think that Tom kept Weaver's sanity.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And so that with him back, I mean, in Weaver's mind, there's, like I said, no questions are asked, and that's Tom. Nothing's wrong with him. I don't care what Pope says. Everything's fine, and that's kind of what was going on in Weaver's mind.
Okay.
And so
this is when Weaver starts blaming himself, and he's, if I'd have been a better father and a better husband, blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, calm down.
Calm down. Again, we see this vulnerable side of Weaver. So
now Tector, or let's just call him Tech, I guess, from the Berserkers, he wants back into the fight. And right then, like you foreshadowed something, I was thinking right then, Oh, he wants to redeem himself. He's dead. He will die trying to save Matt. That's what I was thinking. That was right at that point. But
Okay.
we'll see how that pans out. Wink, wink. Weaver and Tom realize that Matt, Diego, and the other kids are gone. Oh my goodness. What part of "we're not waiting for your plan" didn't Weaver get? Because he spelled it. Diego pretty much spelled it out. He was like, we're not going to sit around and wait for you to make up a plan. Let's go get them. And, that didn't work out so hot. All right, so they're already at the facility now. That was pretty fast. They got there really quick. And
not only are they at the facility,
but Tom notices Matt's hat on the ground. There's his hat.
Uh-oh. They got captured already.
There's his hat. So the group scrambles to go in there. And then we see Matt laying face down on the board, hearing others getting harnessed. Gene is there too. And who was the little guy that was... I'm sorry. I know this was supposed to be a serious moment, but I was laughing hysterically at that kid because he was just giving us the blow-by-blow. What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing, man? Get this thing off me, man. I was on the couch cracking up. I'm sorry.
This was the kid that was the only sole survivor of the kids that were captured when they went back to the little kid.
Okay, so Johnny.
Johnny, yeah,
okay.
This was Johnny. And I thought that this was pretty clever or either stupid, I guess that's how some people put it. Because what happened was when you saw the previews and you saw this kid being harnessed, you automatically thought it was Matt being harnessed.
Yes, I did.
And so I thought for sure Matt was going to get harnessed. And then they showed little Johnny getting harnessed. And it's man, this is who that kid was. Because, if you look at it, they Matt and Johnny have kind of the same build.
Yes, they do. Weren't you laughing a little bit, though, at Johnny's blow-by-blow? What are they doing? What is that thing? What is he going to do with it? Oh, my gosh.
Oh, this doesn't feel good.
He was like, get that thing off me. I was in tears. I'm sorry. It was fun. So that spine slug is, that was disgusting how it was kind of squirted out of that tank. It was like,
yeah. And you know what? Again, it's kind of similar to, it's a living thing, right?
Right. It's a parasite.
And it's a parasite, almost kind of like a face hugger in Alien.
Yes, exactly.
Except this is a back hugger. So
yeah.
I guess from now on we can call it a back
hugger. Awesome. The back slug.
But
nice.
what was kind of interesting about their use of this, they actually used a combination. By they, I'm referring to the production company used a combination of actual puppetry and special or CGI, and it revealed that the only CGI that they used for this was, how they spikes would come out of them,
mm-hmm.
right? That was all CGI, but
cool.
But you know what? I don't know if I kind of thought it was kind of cool. I liked it how they were swimming around in that pool and stuff.
Yes, it was very good.
Because what it really revealed to me was I guess I didn't realize that they were living things like that originally.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was really cool like that. So it's time. Weaver and Tom find Diego, and then it's time for Matt's back hugger to go on. But Tom stops it, and the skidder as well. So Weaver saves Gene from the same fate. Gene, sorry. And then Ben is drawn to that tank, and his spikes start to light up again. And here is my stupid Mike moment of the week. Ben shoots the entire tank, and all those slugs just come out onto the ground like that. I was like, what are you doing?
And what's funny is the rest of the second mass is kind of blowing the hell out of them, too. Wouldn't you want to save them to study them?
Yeah. at least one. I'm like, what are you doing, Ben? Oh, not smart. So as he's walking away, Weaver gets bit on the leg, or snagged on the leg by
it
one.
like attaches to his leg.
Ugh, that was gross. I was like, oh no, Weaver's down. But as we find out, he's okay because Ann is looking at Weaver's leg. And did you notice that exchange about, what are you, a pill pusher or something, Ann? Like she's getting him to take these pills, and then we know he's had a problem with those. So I just wondered, did she take that into consideration?
I was wondering myself if this was in reference to his former life, his previous life, as a kind of because he was a pill pusher.
So I don't know what was going on there, but that was an interesting exchange, and it gets broken up by Jean. So Weaver wants to talk about the comments she made before, and we find out that this is typical daddy-daughter, drama situation. You weren't there for me and all that jazz.
Yeah, you're a control freak, blah, blah, blah. And they kind of like talk out their differences.
Yeah. This is the daddy-daughter drama when they get older.
Right.
So Gene reveals that Diego and the group don't want to join the second mass, so we're still at 176 unless somebody got off this week. So I guess that they don't get to be the fill-ins after all.
Yeah, I thought this was kind of predictable too, because some people were thinking, "Oh, is she gonna stay with her dad or take off?" I said, "She's gonna go where her boyfriend's going."
Yeah.
And so she's sitting in the tent with her dad. Dad's asleep from the antibiotic, and
but first he gives her that darn compass. He breaks that compass out. Remember that?
I think we should just call this the compass of death.
Yeah, because I really wouldn't want to be in possession of that compass. No offense to anyone who's held it, but I don't want to get my hands on that. But yeah, you're right that she's gonna go away with Diego there. But before that, Hal and Ben have they share some gum.
Do you know what I thought this was at first?
I thought it was cigarettes.
I did too. I thought, oh, they're gonna be smoking.
They're such renegades.
Exactly. I was like, oh wow, what kind of message are they sending? But lo and behold, it was just gum.
Just gum, folks. Well, that's a family-friendly show, so to speak. Now, Hal wants to know about the glowing spikes, and then Ben pretty much gets upset about that. He don't want to talk about it. So he's like, is this one of those things where you just lie to me and get mad? Yes. I was like, oh, jeez. Okay, whatever.
And he goes, will you please don't tell anybody?
So back at the base, Tom puts Tech back on sniper duty.
Take toward your back.
Did you think that was a little hokey? You've got a guy from the Berserkers, from a group called the Berserkers, and he is all nice and polite and kind, and I'm sorry, sir, and I'm sorry, and I'm so sorry for what I did. I'll make it up to you. That doesn't fit the Berserkers, does it?
I don't know. I kind of, this is kind of forced, I thought.
It was corny. I'm sorry. It was just a little hokey.
Yeah, because usually, at first, I know the Berserkers, everyone thought, oh, this was just all the remnants of Pope's previous gang. But really, it wasn't. It's, if you follow along on the official website, it kind of shows you where some of these people come from and how they got their name. Now, spoiler alert, everybody.
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it if it's really something that's gonna get people riled up.
Well, no, it was Anthony.
Oh, okay.
That coined the name Berserkers.
Okay, that's
how they got their name.
That's not a spoiler then.
So
okay, Do you know why he gave him that name,
Because the way they were fighting, he was talking about remember that
the Battle of Fitchburg or whatever?
that yeah, it's Battle of Fitchburg, and how Tom would always go into these historical tirades. Okay, this should remind you of, and what, because he's a history teacher.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony had a history lessons. He goes, well, since Tom isn't here, I got one for you guys, and talk about the ancient Vikings and how a group of them were known as the Berserkers. They get this Berserker rage, and so Anthony, that's how they got the name. It was
Awesome.
during, and was right during the Battle of Fitchburg. They started calling themselves the Berserkers.
There was a pro wrestler in the 90s that was named the Berserker. He was a Viking.
Oh, don't get me, John Nord, just terrible. Don't get me started on him.
But we'll digress. Uh, so, so, so Tech, he's back on sniper duty, and he couldn't be happy. Thanks, sir. Thank you. Shine those shoes while you're at it. Jamil finds Lourdes to talk. Lourdes is upset that Diego said that the area was wiped out where she, her family and stuff would have been.
Okay, now this to me was another kind of hole in the plot, so to speak, because Diego revealed that he was originally from Philadelphia. Okay.
Okay.
And so how did he know that this northern area of Mexico was wiped out?
Yeah. How did
there
he
was
know?
no way he could have known.
Oh, goodness. So, all right. Will this come back at some point, or is this just something they missed?
I don't know. I think it was I don't know.
Rushed
I couldn't
writing.
I you know what, being DreamWorks being the production company that they are, I cannot believe that they would let something like that slide.
And then when you already talked about how Jean's leaving, she's covering Weaver up, but when he wakes up, okay, he just immediately wakes up, and then he immediately sees that note right there.
It was a Dear John letter.
I'm just waking up, and I see this note right here. That's the first thing I look for.
And so, you know what? I kind of thought, okay, Weaver's going to accept it and say, well, she's a big girl now, and she's in control of her own destiny. But no, we don't get that. We get a big blubbering mess.
So he has lost his daughter again. And as we go off the air, Matt comes into Tom's, I guess, tent or whatever that is, and he kind of wants to snuggle up with Dad. And then we pan to a sky shot, and we're out. All right. Ratings-wise, Alex, I can only give this a 6 out of 10. I was really disappointed with a lot of the things in the story that just don't make sense to me.
I kind of disagree with that because I thought a lot was revealed. That we didn't know before.
But isn't it weighted down a little bit by some of the silly stuff that we're seeing? Isn't it? This episode, wasn't it weighed down by some of the silly stuff?
Perhaps a little bit.
Perhaps a little bit, like 6 feet worth of stupidity was going on in this. But I always look at the writers and the directors for these episodes. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's fair or not, but I like to look and see who directed each episode. And
I don't know. I'm going to have to
start doing that because you'll notice a trend when certain people write. You will notice things like this, omissions, and these quirky things in the story that just don't make much sense. And I it's not that fair to do that for me to do that, but I definitely have monitored that. So start doing that.
I'm looking at episodes right now.
Do it. I challenge you. And all the best episodes, I will tell you, have been penned by 2 different people. But we'll digress.
Compass was written by Brian O. and directed by Michael.
Slaughter.
Catlerman. We'll call him Catmandu. And let's see if
Catmandu. He didn't just say that.
And now this is his first. This is his first episode that he directed. And Brian O,
and
I
we
don't
can
see
tell.
him on there at all either.
And we can tell. So I'm irritated at the end of these episodes. This is last week and this week. They go into that stupid show, The Great Escape, and it pushes the preview of Falling Skies way back. But I was awake this week, so I didn't have to go search for the preview. I was awake and I stayed up and watched some of that dumb Great Escape.
I'll tell you what,
I hate that show.
I hate to say it, but I kind of like this show.
No,
and not because of the show itself, but the places that they go to.
Can I tell you when I turned it off last night? When the brother and sister duo were scrambling on the deck of that ship, and the sister says, "Come on, baby." I have 5 sisters, and never, ever, ever has one of them called me baby. Ever. That just creeped me out, and I turned it off. Sorry. It did. It really bothered me.
I'll tell you. Well, the reason why I like this so much, because they actually have it on probably some of the most haunted places on Earth. You were on the SS Hornet last night, and they started off being in those little tiny cells. Well, one of those cells is one of the most haunted areas of the ship. They had a Japanese guy commit suicide and right in one of those cells, and it's one of the most active areas on the ship.
Okay.
So, but I guess we're digressing.
Yeah,
I think we should do our own ghost hunting.
Yes.
Show.
We got to get back to ghost hunting again.
Yeah.
All right. So next week, the show is titled Love and Other Acts of Courage.
And you know what? I didn't really see anything from the previews that got
really
me overly excited.
But here's a brief synopsis. A familiar person returns to the unit, but his motives are scrutinized. Elsewhere, a captured skidder is imprisoned at the camp, and Hal connects with Maggie as she casts light on her past. Ooh, buddy, I better get a pillow.
So yeah, I think what we're gonna see is kind of, I don't want to call it filler, but that's what it sounds like. To me.
I mean, we're 4 shows in, folks. We gotta get on that gas pedal if we're gonna leave on a good note and get renewed for a season 3. We kind of got to get back on that pedal.
But on a positive note, the episode after that's going to be directed by Greg Beeman, who's directed the season premiere.
Yep,
so hopefully we can get right back.
That's what I'm talking about, Alex. You got to start doing that. That's what I do. And you know whether to DVR it or watch live.
That's right. And then on the Mark Verheiden, I love this guy.
I love him.
And he did do comic books for a little bit about 5-6 years ago. But he's more famous for Battlestar Galactica. And other than producing, he really hasn't done a whole lot with this season. He did write the very first episode of the season premiere.
Yep.
And he's going to write the very first, when they have the season finale on August the 12th.
Yep.
He's going to write that first episode of that.
And guess what the highest rated episode of this entire series has been? the
Greg
premiere.
Beam and Mark Verheiden stuff.
Exactly.
I'm kind of interesting to see what's going to go on with last week's season of Youngbloods. This week's.
Yeah, I want to see those ratings, and once they finally come in, and when they come in, I'll post it on the site. At fallingskiespodcast.com. Or, I might pop in with a little bit of an update. But, Alex, can we play? We got some feedback from a great friend of mine. Can we play that right now?
All right, let's do it.
Let's play it.
Hey, Hank and Alex, this is Wayne Henderson from the Packers Fan Podcast, calling in for your Falling Skies Fan Podcast. And I've been enjoying this second season so far, even though it may be an abbreviated season. A lot of this show seems to be filmed at night, or at least they make it look like it's night. I don't know. Other than that, I'm enjoying Falling Skies this season. It's pretty cool. And what you guys mentioned about Pope there, if he becomes the main character, I think we'll still be all right. You know, kind of harkening back to Happy Days that you talked about. Pope, we're going to be okay with him as long as he doesn't get some sort of jet ski, get out there and go over some ramps and try to jump over a shark, all the while going, hey. I think we'll be all right. You guys are doing a great job. Looking forward to the next episode. This is Wayne. See you later. Go Packers.
He said go Packers, too. So, Wayne, this is Inside Baseball, but this is for you, buddy. Go Pack, go, Wayne. Oh.
So I'm going to assume Wayne is a part owner of the Packers. I assume he lives in the state of Wisconsin.
No, he's in California, but he loves the Packers nonetheless.
I got a very close friend of mine lives in California. So Wade, if you're listening, hey buddy, he's a diehard Packers fan, and he was from Wisconsin, and holy cow, if people were as passionate about the Lions as they are the Packers,
yes,
we'd be doing okay.
We'd be doing way better. But Wayne, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sending that in. And
Wayne, I absolutely love the Happy Days reference of jumping the shark, because I know because I know I compared it to Happy Days last week of the Pope character, and he very well could steal the shows. And notice Pope really wasn't mentioned a whole lot this episode.
No.
But I have a feeling that we're going to be. I think my prediction is there's a episode after next week called Homecoming. That's, I think, when we're going to see Pope back.
And Anthony, or just Pope?
I think Anthony will be with him.
Okay, he's still
unless Anthony died off screen like poor Uncle Scott did.
And stupid Mike died off screen as well.
Yeah, that's true.
We're assuming they can't harness old people. That's awesome. We had a real short email from Joe, and he says, Hank and Alex love the show. How many people were at Jimmy's funeral? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Looks like a lot.
Looks like a lot, but you know what? As far as I know, there's probably maybe 10 to 15 tops, and the rest of them are all CGI.
But what I think he's pointing out is, did all 176 show up for the turnout for this funeral?
Oh, gotcha.
So good he was point. Look like 177. No, just kidding. He felt like it looked like more than what they would possibly have available at that time. Alex, though, we do have to hand out that award right now. So your stupid Mike moment of the week, go over it one last time for us.
All right. My stupid Mike award of the week. You know what? In my mind, I had 2 or 3 possibilities, but definitely the very first scene.
Okay.
With Matt sticking his neck out like that.
Yeah.
And just
slowly moving on a scooter.
Carelessly taking risks. So not only does Matt get that, but I think that Nectar and Boone also.
Nectar and Boone are going to get this. You feel like they're all the trio against Ben shooting the tank. Hey, let's not save a specimen. Let's not throw a grenade in there on our way out after we get a specimen. Let's just blow this thing and let's just shoot it so they're all at our feet. And while we're not paying attention, you think you still want to go with Matt?
I do, but another thing that wasn't answered, what happened to little Johnny?
I don't know. He was giving us the blow-by-blow 1 minute, and then the next minute he was zombified, and he was all done.
Right. So what happened to him? Did he?
He kind of piped down after that slug bit him.
So did the kids take him with them, or what?
I don't know. I don't know. There's another.
What's up with that?
Human-sized hole in the plot. So let's hand this out for their expertise in skitter baiting and the recklessness therein. Matt, we award you the Stupid Mike Memorial Trophy of the week. All right, we handed that out. Alex, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this show up?
Well, another little piece of trivia was that warehouse that they filmed was an abandoned warehouse originally, and it did not have any, like I stated earlier, did not have any power in it. And they said that the temperature inside was actually colder than the outside. And so what they did when they filmed that scene with Ben shooting the tank and all that water coming or that fluid coming out, they had to reshoot some things the next day,
Okay.
and it was all frozen when they returned, so they had to thaw it out.
Oh, nice. Nice. Awesome. Anything else, Alex?
Nope. We may be seeing Rick next week,
Yep.
and
We'll see Rick.
that's the only thing I think we might have to look forward to next episode.
Really?
So,
Folks, make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast. If you get it in iTunes and you like what we're doing, hey, write us a review to go with the other ones that we have on there. We would greatly appreciate that and the exposure that we get from that.
did we talk about this last time? I was looking through iTunes, and someone had given a rival Fallen Skies podcast stellar review, and they thought it was our podcast, and they mentioned both of our names on there.
Yes.
But
We
hey,
didn't
that's
mention
okay.
that on the air, but yes, that did happen. Somebody wrote us a wonderful review, and we thank them for it, but it was on somebody else's podcast. So that's hence the third name change for this show. So we can distance ourselves from people doing that, because that's why people do those names, close proximity names, just for that reason right there. So to create confusion. So even on the new updated album artwork, it says Hank Davis and Alex Cruz right on the front. So we don't get that confusion anymore. But folks, if you'd like to send us a voicemail like Wayne did, you can do so at +1 810 309 8445. That's +1 810 309 8445. Regular toll charges do apply. That line's open 24/7. Or you could send us an email, and you could either write us out something, or you could attach a voice message from your computer recorded on that into that email. And that's tprfans@yahoo.com. tprfans@yahoo.com. But go ahead.
And another thing too, if you want to agree or disagree with our choices of the stupid Mike Award, Memorial Award of the Week, please spout off. I would love to hear from you.
I would love to hear that, or give us your own ratings of the show. If you disagree with my 6 out of 10, what did you give the show, Alex?
I didn't give it anything yet, I don't think.
Oh, what's your rate?
I'll give it 7.
You give it a 7? Okay, I said 6. You know, it's a D. Where I went to high school, people would kill for D's. So
mine's a C-, which is close.
So maybe that's not as bad as some people think, but I thought it was, as far compared to the other shows, this was a letdown for me. I'll just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But for Alex Cruz, I'm Hank Davis. Until next time, my friends, we're signing off.
Bye-bye.
Ready to make the jump.